Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Darkwabo here, and today we're doing a how to improve your aim on Rainbow Six Siege video. Enjoy. Okay, so before we get into it, I want to show you my sensitivity. I believe you want your vertical between 25 and 50. Starting with my vertical, I have mine always set to half of my horizontal. I find this helps making adjustments easier because you're more likely to make horizontal adjustments versus vertical adjustments. And a high vertical sensitivity makes it harder to control recoil and clear rooms with proper sight alignment. Up next is your horizontal sensitivity. Now I prefer this between 50 and 100. Test it out, feel what's right for you, but you're going to want to be able to make 90, 180, and 360 degree non-ADS turns. ADS stands for aim down sight. If you go past your target, lower your horizontal sense. If you come up short of your target, raise it until you find what feels just right. You might feel like it's a little too fast to start, even at 50, but trust me, once you play with it for a day or two, it will feel like it's perfect. Now with the dead zones, I like to keep these as low as I can, but my left stick sometimes moves slowly if I'm not touching it, so I raised it to 6. I know some people prefer higher dead zones. I mean, really it comes down to just test it out, see what suits you, and in the end it all comes down to how you feel on the sticks. So the controller rotation is a new setting in Siege. The classic setting is a slow, more gradual progression until reaching full tilt, and updated is more consistent progression of rotation speed. Now, I'm not 100% exactly how this works, but I believe the classic makes your stick slow when barely moving it and moving very fast on the edges of the stick's motion. On the updated, I believe it's more consistent across all the stick's movement surface. Now, I could be totally wrong, so don't crucify me. But from what I've read, this is my current understanding. Once again, could be totally, completely wrong. Alright, next up, I would set your aim down sights between 20 and 40 at the very most. A multiplier of your horizontal and vertical sensitivity. So basically, you need to go into T-Hunt and find out what feels right for you. You want to lower ADS so you can make those minute adjustments to land those headshots. Anyway, let's get into how you can improve your aim. So next, you pick Buck because you want the worst recoil in the game. If you can control Buck C8, then you can control almost anything in the game. Okay, so I pick Buck and I spawn APC area. Now here's a drill you can use. You aim at the shield on the police vehicle and you move back and forth. Do your best to keep your reticle on the shield at all times. This is very boring to do and not very fun, but at the start of every terrorist hunt, try this out. It really helps tracking targets and builds that muscle memory. Up next is recoil control. What you do is run up to this wall and you shoot a full mag without touching the right stick. Let it go full auto. You try this 2-3 times, then look at what the bullet pattern is. What you're going to do is mimic this with a slight pull down and just a little bit to the left on Buck C8. As you see, it goes up and to the right, so you want to pull down to the left. You can get some pretty tight patterns with the notoriously wild C8 if you do this. This drill is pretty easy to do. Line up your sights with the fence post and trace the outline of the post across the top of the fence, then back down the other post and across the bottom. If you can do this fast and keep it sort of close to the route, your sense is probably in a pretty good spot for you. Okay, so next up we move to single fire, aim down sights. Then press up on the D-pad until the C8 is in single fire mode. What you're going to do is with the right stick only, slowly and surely make right stick adjustments to the terrorist heads and pull the trigger. You might take damage, you might die after a few if you're not good at this yet, but that doesn't matter. Just move your reticle to their heads and one tap them. Even if you go very slow, this builds muscle memory that will make you shoot way better when you're going full speed. Alright guys, so here's some video of me running the one tap drill. Alright, next up what I like to do is just practice left and right non-ADS adjustments. Just put it center mass, don't touch the right stick. This reminds you to make sure your target is lined up before you pull the trigger. I see a lot of players that try to start firing and then bring the reticle on target, and that's a huge issue and very hard to be successful with. I'm sure there are some people that can get away with that, but I'm just not good enough to do that. I have to make sure to get the reticle on the target before I pull the trigger most of the time. If I start firing and then try to make right stick adjustments when not on the target, it gets hairy. Potato aim and panic spray are born of this for me anyway. Put it on the target, then pull the trigger. That's my mantra. Here's some video of me running the center mass drill. For the third run, I like to go full auto and control recoil like I would in a real game. You basically go fast, aim head level. As we learned early, Buck C8 goes up and to the right, so we pull down and to the left, just slightly. Alright, here's a little video of me going full speed and controlling recoil. Here's another drill you can do between these two fences. Practice 90-degree turns. Fire, then turn 90 and fire, and see if you can kind of hit the same area. This really helps for snapping onto targets. That's why you have a really fast horizontal ADS and a really slow ADS, so that you can make them big movements to snap to people's heads, and then you ADS and you can make the minute adjustments to get onto the target. Alright, last but not least is one of the most important things about aim in Siege. This game is one-shot headshot game. So one of, if not the most important thing, is to keep your aim at head level at all times. The fastest way to get better at winning gunfights is to keep your crosshairs at head level always. Not looking down at the ground, which I'm guilty of. Not looking around with your crosshairs at stomach or chest level. Always, and I can't stress this enough, always keep them at head level, and your KD will rise like crazy. A good visual tool I like to use is the buckles on the doors are at head height. The only exception to keeping your aim at head level is if you have info that they are crouched or prone, or if you have a super high recoil weapon and you're moving around clearing rooms, then you might want to hold slightly below head level at neck level. But if you're holding an angle, you always want to be holding at head level. It's the difference between winning and losing gunfights. If you take one thing away from this video, keep your sights at head level, and I promise your kills per game will go up. Alright guys, there we go. That's my video on how to improve your aim in Rainbow Six Siege. I hope it helps y'all out. I appreciate all y'all's support. Hit the sub button, support your boy, and I'll catch y'all next time. Peace.